Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 25th of January, 2024. So, yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll try to help you out, and if we cannot, at least we can guide you towards the right direction. Look, Nikkei 225. That's the first one I'm gonna pick up here on, and that's the usual. Basically, no surprise there. But hey, look. Yesterday, we had quite an interesting day. Yesterday, the U.S. Stock market did rally, did create those new all-time highs, or especially NatGas. Dow did not, but I'll get to that in a bit. Yesterday we saw some strength in the stock market and the tech world because of the Netflix, and Nvidia did rally as well. So, but then, hey, that quickly faded away. Those started drifting lower, and I'll get to the U.S. indices in a bit. Looking at this picture here, I can see that initially we did pop higher here, but look, in the beginning of this week, I said to you, I'm going to keep an eye on that 36,278 territory, roughly around here, which could, in a way, provide some resistance. And so far, it is doing that after we fell back below it. So, in a way, for now, everything's kind of pointing towards the idea of maybe seeing a little bit of a correction here on Nikkei. Well, like I said, I'll consider that idea as long as we remain below that 36,278 territory right here. And if we do push back above it, well, this is the point where I have to be a little bit more cautious because I think that in order to be a little bit more positive, let's say with higher levels on Nikkei, I think that it would be better to wait for a push above this barrier, this 36,425, and if we can get that move, that's wonderful, great. More buyers could join in. We could target that level here again, the 78.6, which I really like. But again, we have targeted that one, so we've kind of tested it. So maybe actually it might not go there unless it wants to clear it. And if it does clear that, then yes, of course, I'll go and I'll aim for some higher levels. But for now, long story short, guys, yes, from the very short-term perspective, keeping an eye on that 36,278. Let's see if we can get some sort of action to the downside. China 50. So beautiful rally here, as you can see. We tested the upper side of the falling channel. Everything is working out perfectly. I've mentioned this week, guys. Look, I said to you that if we do pop above that 11,158, my next target is this 50-day EMA together with this upper side of the falling channel. Did we get a good result? Fantastic. Faris Salih, hi. Oh, you beat me to it. Good morning, everyone in the chat room, everyone. There we go. I wasn't the first one. Faris Salih, congratulations. You beat me. You were the first who said hi. Hi back at you. Hi, thank you very much for tuning in. And thank you very much, everybody else who's tuning in right now. I mean, just drop me a comment there. Again, I'll ask you the same thing. So people who are watching and people who did not comment before, please tell me, where are you from? Like, where are you currently based? And, where are you watching this show? So just out of curiosity, I'm just curious about the demographics of this show, basically. So yeah, just out of, like I said, just nothing major, just curious. So China 50. So yes, basically the next step here is, of course, to wait and see if we can get a break through the upper side of the falling channel here. So yes, Faris Salih, Dubai. Dubai. Okay, okay. مرحبا. مرحبا. Oh, Iran. R32 Fox, Iran. I used to know how to say hello in Farsi. I used to know how to do that. Please forgive me, I forgot. Yeah. But anyway, hi to everybody. Hi everybody. I'm really, really happy to see you here, guys. Honestly, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for tuning in every morning. You know, like I keep on. How's gold? How is gold? How is gold today? Gold, it's coming up. It's in there. This is the big list, by the way, just to let you know that this is. Salam. Salam. Okay. So, yes, this is the big list that I need to go through. So, yep, gold is around here. So, I need to go through indices first, and then commodities, then cryptos, and then I jump into Forex. So, that's the usual structure here. But coming back to this, guys, falling channel. We're testing the upper side of the falling channel. So, that's great. So, now the question is, can we see a nice good break through this territory, through this downside line? If we can push above the 50-day EMA, then yes, great, more buyers could join in. ASX 200. So ASX 200. So after we've look, in general, I whenever kind of I reach my targets on an instrument or something, it then really becomes a little bit like. I wouldn't say not interesting, but just like a little bit like I need to use the words correctly. Anyway, like less interesting. You know, I'm less interested in that instrument because look, my target got reached. I mean, initially I was talking about this. I said that if we do break this downside line, I will aim for this territory right here around this 7,520.30 zone. We've reached that. Fantastic. Great. So now, I mean, we've cleared it. So look, I talked about this yesterday as well. I said that if we do clear this territory and stay above it, then yes, I will consider a move a little bit to the upside. Well, so far it's kind of working out, I would say. But to be honest, really at this point, I'm not really liking the index. I'm just observing the price action. I want to see what's going to happen. Maybe it's going to totally ignore my this area right here. So, you know, in that case, don't try to squeeze something out of it. If it's not, let's say, ticking all your boxes, just leave it. Honestly, we can go into something else. And why not to go into the Dow? Look, yesterday was quite an interesting moment here. Dow rallied initially, but as I keep on saying, as I always say the same thing, guys, that if NASDAQ is performing the best, expect Dow to perform the least, and that's the case again. And the S&P is always somewhere in the middle. And as I was joking yesterday, that it's kind of I sometimes see it as like the average of the Dow and Nasdaq, basically. But yeah. But anyway, look. For now, what can I say here? Is that the Dow drifted lower, and I'm looking at the futures here. You might have something else in your charts, guys, because again, maybe you're looking at the cash index. So, but it's almost the same, you know, just slightly different pricing, but in general, almost the same. Look, on my futures here, we remained above my territory, right? This one right here, which is the 50% on the Fibonacci extension here. So yeah, that's great. And this extension, by the way, is drawn from the lowest point of 2020 to the highest point of 22, and then to the lowest point of 2022. So this is how I've drawn it, and this is so far it's doing a good job, basically. It has been providing good resistance. Now it's providing good support. So I'm not really saying that, you know, suddenly now everything is going to turn south or no. On the contrary, the fact that we still remain above this hurdle, we still continue to trade above that area, then yes, there is a good chance for this one to move higher, actually. But at this point in time, I would actually prefer to wait for a push above the 38,300 zone. Why? Just to be a little bit more on the safe side. Because, look, these are all-time highs, right? And this is the all-time high right now. And if we clear the 38,300 zone, I mean, that would kind of push the index into uncharted territory, and this is where we could then target that 38,500, maybe even the 39,000, who knows. But at this point, like I said, look, if it somehow remains above this little hurdle, then yes, I will cautiously remain bullish. I'll get more bullish if we clear the 38,300 zone right here, basically the all-time high. If we start falling below the this territory, the 38,000, and well, actually in general, the 38,000, if we fall below that on the futures, actually I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the downside now. So at the moment, if all those bulls out there, you know, you're thinking that this can just go in your direction all the time, no. No, there will be a time, what comes up must come down eventually. So what I'm seeing here in the futures right now is a doji. So maybe February could be a bit of maybe a down move here, a down month. Who knows? Again, don't get me wrong, we had strong rallies before. I mean, just take this one for instance, like the one from after March 2020, when the whole kind of this lockdown started, and yeah, and basically, I mean, then after that we started kind of just rallying, you know, after a sharp decline. But look, at this point, I am just being very careful for now. I do like the fact that we are creating these all-time highs. I really do, because me being contrarian, I'm kind of expecting this one to fall eventually. But again, at the moment, look, everything is still fine. Maybe this we'll have to just see how it's gonna play out today, for example, because today we have the US GDP, preliminary GDP numbers. So if those come out better than the previous, and this is what I said actually yesterday, and let me just open up the economic calendar. So yes, so GDP, the Q-on-Q GDP number, the preliminary one, is expected to drop from 4.9 to 2%. So okay, that's a massive decline. However, if the number comes out higher than the forecast, it's still good. It's still okay. Yes, there is a slowdown, but not let's say something drastic. Actually, maybe this could work in favor of the stock market. Why? Because let's say if there's like a slower growth, maybe this could mean that maybe inflation is not picking up. You know, inflation is still, you know, on the lower side. But again, inflation, I'll get to inflation in a bit as well. Maybe this could be seen that, you know, growth is still kind of okay, but not, let's say, that much, and that's why maybe the Fed won't have to just, let's say, go with you know, the rate hikes or anything like that, or they will stick to the, you know, their current cuts with their promising 3 rate cuts, or at least 2 by mid 2024. And maybe, you know, that could play out positively for the stock market. However, if we start drifting to the downside heavily, now this is where it would overweigh the idea of, you know, interest rates in general. If we come out lower than the forecast, then this could actually just play out negatively for the stock market, because yes, I mean, inflation wouldn't be higher, and that's all understandable, but the fact that in general there is a huge slowdown, that would play in, you know, that would factor in. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. So yeah, I mean, that's my game plan right now on the Dow, the technical picture, S&P. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions, drop in the box in there. I mean, I'll try to answer that if I know how to. If I don't know, then, well, like I said, I'll try to guide you towards the correct answer or something like that. But yeah, look, yesterday the S&P 500 rallied as well, created a new all-time high. I mean, wow. I'm talking about the futures here, the 4,933. We managed to reach that one. I was initially kind of targeting the 4,950, but okay, that's fine as well. Now the thing is that if we do drop below the 4,873, I will consider a larger correction here to the downside towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 5th of January. In order to go higher, yes, a push above the 4,933 territory is required, because this way a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed, potentially attracting more buyers into the game. So NASDAQ was an animal yesterday. I mean, look at this. But this is the interesting bit. It traveled higher. It created a new all-time high for itself, but near the 17,792. But then quickly reversed back down and traveled back to this little hurdle, the 61.8 on my Fibonacci extension. Well, that's in a way telling me that maybe the bulls are, slowly kind of fading away, and maybe the bears could step in. However, I will consider the bears only from around here, because look, the 17,463, it was a good area. Recently, it acted as a fantastic area of support. We did, like I said, break it a few times, but then failed to stay below it, and there we go. We are seeing a rebound. We saw a rebound. We pushed higher, and yes, created a new all-time high. So yeah, in general, if you remember in the beginning of this week, I said to you that if we do push above this barrier, above this 61.8 here, then yes, great, more buyers could join in, and then we could just take it from there. The German index DAX, and there we go. So beautiful, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. I talked about this yesterday. I've talked about this from the beginning of this week. I am very, very happy, very proud of myself. Honestly, this is one of those rare moments where I'm proud of myself, basically. But congratulations to everybody who kind of managed to drive this one all the way there towards this upper side of the falling channel. And now the question is, can it hold? Well, to be honest, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more for a correction, actually. And I would really love to see a little bit of a correction within the formation here. So the only thing is that I'm not rushing into things, because, again, maybe it's going to pop here, break the downside line. I mean, it did that yesterday, but failed to stay above it. So maybe this time it'll pop again. But if it stays, great, I will go higher. If it doesn't stay, I will consider this scenario right here. So I do like it to the downside in general, but again, I cannot exclude the idea of seeing, let's say, higher levels here if we do break the upper side of the falling channel. And this is what I said to you before, that look, the prevailing trend is to the upside. We started forming a falling channel, so in a way, this here is kind of a continuation pattern. So it's basically, you could see some more upside on this one, because basically it's like a little pause before another possible move higher. But again, will that happen now, or will we see a bit of a retracement back down? Let's say a formation of a higher low and then a rebound and a push higher. So again, that's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, as I keep on saying. So yes, at the moment, the only thing is that after we've reached our target, now we can chill and just observe the price action. If you're trying to kind of squeeze something out of this one, I would say, look, don't. I mean, if you've missed the ride, then okay, look, it's okay, it's all fine, it's not a problem. We'll find a new one, So it's just be patient. So yeah, the FTSE 100. So let's jump into that one. Oh, and by the way, the German index, just to let you know as well, ECB today. Interest rate decision today. 4.5. Yep, that's what they're going to stick to. What I want to say is that, look, not only keep your eyes on the news announcement of the interest rate, but keep your eyes on the press conference. The press conference, which will follow half an hour after. In between, we will get the US GDP preliminary numbers. So remember that it will be a bit of it could be a bit of a crazy move in that time. So check the economic calendars. Check when that period, when the announcement is according to your time. But yeah, just be careful, patient, and don't be surprised. For example, if the whole kind of time right now leading towards that news, we might remain quiet a little bit, and not much. We could not see much and stuff like that. So just kind of remember that, because like I said, everybody's going to be waiting for the ECB, then the US GDP, preliminary GDP numbers, and then the press conference of Lagarde, or the ECB press conference. Yeah. So, the FTSE 100. So far, so good. Nice gradual correction here. And in general, I'm really looking at this one as a bearish indication, to be honest. I mean, come on. Such a correction towards the upside here within the body of this big downside candle here, which was made on the 17th of January. So we cannot really get out of this. So in general, for me, this is more of a bearish indication. So that's why I am so far sticking to this idea where maybe it could travel a little bit more to the upside, test the 38.2%, test maybe the 200-day EMA together with this downside line. If it all provides good resistance, another decline here could be possible. JD Invest morning, we'll watch a bit later. It seems South Africa have a internet problem. Australia 200 close to strong weekly resistance. Yeah, I mean, look, I already talked about ASX 200 weekly resistance. Let me just double check on a weekly. Right, if you're talking about something like this, okay, the highest point of January of 2023. So yes, strong resistance. Yes, of course. Did it close? I mean, are we open? Are we not open tomorrow as well? Am I just missing something here? Just bear with me 1 moment. Friday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point. Thank you very much. I actually missed this. That Australia is closed tomorrow. Oh, okay. It's Australia Day. Thank you, JD Invest. Thank you very much. Really interesting. Yes. This is a good valid point. A good valid point. So we have basically found resistance here. So yes, and there we go. This is what I like. This is what I like, guys. I mean, so you look, if you have ideas, honestly, throw them out there, and like I said, I will find something new as well. I will learn from you. You will learn from me. It's great. I freaking love it. But yeah, JD Invest, thank you very much. This is quite interesting actually. Yes, so this did provide good resistance here. Okay, look, yes, it did find resistance. However, it remained very close to it. So, again, let's see how the European and US markets are going to go. Let's see how Asia is going to go to tomorrow. Yes. So, and then how all this will play out. Because if the US indices continue to rally and, we continue to see some all-time highs, then don't be surprised if ASX 200 on Monday opens up, let's say, higher above this hurdle. So, yeah, so that's why I'm saying that's why it's good, it's fantastic, I like it, but just let's not rush into the things yet. If it drifts back down, then you have another problem. Then let's say the next couple of weeks is going to start drifting lower, right? But if it struggles to drift heavily to the downside here, then it'll on the weekly chart here, it will form something. It could form something like a bullish flag. Basically, you have your pole, and if it corrects a little bit lower this way, boom, it could go still to the upside. Let's say in February sometime. So just you have your possibilities still to the upside. So, but of course, good area of resistance. Certainly, let's see how we're going to open up on Monday. Thank you very much for noticing that. So yes. That's great. The FTSE 100. So yeah, that's the game plan on the FTSE. I talked already about this. And the US dollar index. Okay. This one is a bit of a pain in the bottom, so I will get rid of this upside line, no longer needed, I think. And we're now stuck. We're stuck in a little range, so we're stuck in here, and to be honest, okay, I'll continue monitoring this. So basically, I need to see a clearance of the upper side of this range, which is currently newly established right now. But in general, it comes in line with my 103.21 zone together with the 100-day EMA. And if that gets cleared, that we clear the 200-day EMA as well, then yes, this is where, and so on and so on. This is where I'm going to go towards up higher levels. But at this point, I think that, yeah, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen with the GDPs. If nothing, for example, if nothing happens today with the US dollar in terms of when the numbers come out, when the US preliminary GDP comes out, if nothing happens, then maybe the market is getting ready for Friday's PCE figures, and of course the Fed will be also waiting for that one. Well, I mean, how naive I am being, thinking that they don't already know what the number is. But hey, okay, let's assume that they don't know, right? I mean, come on, it's like everybody knows. It's just us, us retail traders who are trying to think that this is some sort of like knowledge, or like, how to say it, skills, or like it's an industry that you're trying to learn. It's kind of already rigged in a way, but we don't know. We don't have the information, so we're trying to do our best to get to that information. But yeah, that's the game. That's the game we're playing. Jumping into gold. So we drifted lower. Look, again, it's fine. We drifted lower. We moved south from the 50-day EMA, which is fine. It's just that still I don't really like this territory right here. I mean, I really don't, because it could be choppy here. It could continue oscillating around the 50-day EMA as it did previously. So I rather stay on the safe side and wait until we get a breakout through either the psychological 2000 zone or above this downside line drawn from the high of the 28th of December. That's it. That's what I'm looking at here. And if I can get that move, wonderful, great. I will consider a move to the upside. Now then, R32 Fox, if gold don't break weak support, can go up to 2045, break down today's support. If don't break support, this right here, yeah, of course. I mean, that's like, that's what we're looking at all the time. So, and if it struggles, for example, with a resistance or a support level, then certainly there is a chance for the opposite happening. Certainly, no arguments there. It's just that the most important is to wait, to wait patiently, because look, if you're on an hourly chart, you're looking at something like this, then you're trying to capture any little swing. That's fine as well. You do whatever you're comfortable with, but I try to look at the bigger picture, and I try to see these opportunities. I rather do less trades, but a little bit more accurate, than doing more trades. But anyway, everybody's different, Everybody's, like I said, everybody has their own strategy. So somebody actually, runs an algo and has like a lot of trades opening at the same time. I had such algos before, but again, it's sometimes tricky. So especially when the market news come out. So in general, market news are the ones that destabilize the normal regular pattern, and this is what I like to capture. Silver, let's jump into that one. So this one's a little bit more exciting because it's pushing back up, and it's now testing this downside line drawn from the high of the 3rd of December. So if we can get a nice clearance of that, then yes, great. More buyers here could join in. We could target the EMAs then, or maybe even this territory right here, the 23.53 zone, and then we'll take it from there. For the downside, I would like to see drop below the 22.51 zone right here. And if we can get that drop, wonderful. I will go a little bit lower. I will go to the downside towards my 21.88 zone, and then I'll take it from there. So yeah, that's the situation here. That's the game plan. Let's see if we can get that nice move through one of these sides. And in the moment, of course, we're examining the upside scenario because we're testing the downside line. If it gets broken and we stay above it, then yes, I'll go higher. But if you don't, well, maybe the downside scenario is not off the table. Oil. Now let's jump into that one. There we go. Breaking the upper side here of the triangle pattern. So that's great in a way. I think that a lot of bulls are happy. So what's next? The next is, of course, are these levels that I talked about previously. So I think that I need to get rid of them, some of them. This one, for example. So let's stick to 76.18, 76.76. Good potential target. That's the highest point of December, the 76.76. But before that, 76.18 is a good level because that's the 100-day EMA right here, together with the 100-day EMA right here, together with the with this 100-day EMA, together with this high. Sorry, I'm kind of my mind went blank here. The high of the 26th of December here. So yes, that's what I'm aiming for right now. I'm very careful for now because, again, it's a good target, but if it struggles to overcome that, I mean, we could just see some action to the downside again. So that's why, yes, I mean, I'm leaning towards higher levels, but only up until here for now. Natural gas, just a quick update. Let's see what's happening here. Fantastic movement. Look at this. I mean, this is just a total reversal. Okay, look, I'm loving this. I'm really, really loving this. And so far, to be honest, I mean, look, after a beautiful rebound from this territory, from this kind of near this upside line drawn from the low of the 14th of April, we are now making our way back to the EMAs, and we did that already to some of them. Now, of course, I'm going to keep an eye on the 200-day EMA as well, and of course on that 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. But so far, everything's working out perfectly because I said to you that if we do push back over the 23.60, then yes, great, I will consider some higher levels here. And yes, we reached my 38.2, and now I'm aiming for that 50% retracement here on the Fibonacci. And then maybe we could also target the 61. Hey, 61.8. Who knows? Let's wait and see. Sugar also continues to rally. That's fine. Everything's working out nicely. I cannot really say anything else. But at the moment, everything's yes. We're above the 50% retracement of Fibonacci. I'm aiming for my 61.8. I mean, so far this is working out nicely according to the plan. Let's jump into crypto, Bitcoin. So we did see a bit of a retracement here. That's fine, but still we're below this downside line. So in a way, there is a chance for this one to drift lower. I will only consider some higher levels if we do break this downside line drawn from the high of the 16th of January. And if we can get that move, then yes, great, wonderful, more buyers could join in, and we could see a push above that 38.2. So yep, that's wonderful. So hey, let's not rush into things for now. Let's continue observing the price action, and if we can get that clearance, wonderful. Yes, I will go higher. But at this point, because it's not really struggling with the downside line, the downside scenario is not off the table. Ethereum, yes, we're still flirting with this territory, so I need to see a clearance of this 2,165 area in order to go lower, because it also coincides with my 100-day EMA. This could open a break of this area, could open the door towards that 200-day EMA, and for the upside, a break of this downside line is needed. So nothing has changed so far. So Litecoin, again, nothing is changed here, because again, we're resting on the upper side, or sorry, so not the upper side, the lower side of this kind of, I would say veg. It's not really a triangle. It's kind of more like a weird veg, something like that. Look, let's put it this way. It's resting above this upside support line drawn from the low of the 11th of September. If we can stay above this, then yes, maybe the bulls could remain in control. But if we clear this territory and we stay below that, well, This is where it could become quite interesting, and we could start moving south here towards the 59.79 zone, or maybe even a lower. But again, at this point, we're still above this upside line, so let's continue monitoring the upside scenario here. Dogecoin. Okay, look, this is a bit, also a pain in the bottom because we've cleared my upside line a few times already, but we are struggling to stay below it. And we're struggling to stay below that 200-day EMA. So basically, that's kind of a good answer, actually, because if you're looking for some lower levels, wait for it to drop and stay below the 200-day EMA. If it stays, okay, I'll go lower. If it doesn't, well, maybe where the bulls are not going to give up here, and we could see a push back to the upside. AUDUSD, again, jumping into a few pairs here. So, continues to flirt with our, or should I say with my EMAs, some of my EMAs here on my daily chart, the 100 and 200 days EMAs. So yes, I mean, if you're looking at some lower level here, then yes, a drop below this 0.6525 territory is required. And yes, if we do drop below this area, then yes, of course, that's, I mean, I cannot really say anything else here. I mean, I'm repeating myself constantly because of the same game plan. I mean, while we remain in this territory, I'm just observing the price action. I really don't like it. It might move sideways here as it continues to do so. So that's why I need to see a clearance of one of these sides, either a break of this downside line in order to go higher, or a drop below the 0.6525 territory in order to go lower. AUDJPY. AUDJPY is breaking the lower side of this wedge, rising wedge. So in a way, that's kind of leaning towards the downside, or we could be leaning towards the downside. So yes, at this point in time, I would say wait for this one. Yes, if it also clears the 50-day EMA right here, wonderful. I will go lower. I will consider a move to the downside. For now, I mean, anything can happen. It could be like just a false breakout here on the rising wedge idea. It might push higher, but let's say if you don't like this anymore, we can get rid of it, and that's absolutely fine. So we can just go back. It's like one of those, we're going back to our roots, you know. So it's like, yeah, okay, you know, great, wow. Big talk. But anyway, look, we can go back to the idea of examining just this downside line and this upside line, period. So if you do want to go for some higher levels on this one, then just you can wait for a push above this downside line right here, and we could, you know, take it from there basically. AUDCAD. So yesterday we got the Bank of Canada. They kept the rates. Yep. They kept the rates the same. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, there was like, what, 5%? Yeah, they were going 5%. Okay. The Canadian dollar weakened in that. And I think that at the moment, maybe it could stay like that. However, I'm not rushing into things. I think it will, look, the fact that oil is trying to make its way higher, maybe this could play out nicely for the Canadian dollar. Maybe it could strengthen as well. But again, depending on against which currency, because at the moment, maybe the Australian one is holding up still, so it's not giving up. However, you know, we'll have to just wait and see on this one, because again, really depending on which currency. I'll pick up on some other ones here in the box. So at this point, look, I'm observing this downside line. If it continues to hold, okay, another decline here could be possible, and still I would prefer to wait for a drop somewhere below the 0.8815 zone right here. However, I understand it's quite a big territory to wait for, so maybe we could keep an eye on this. Maybe that could be helpful. This upside line drawn from the low of the 18th of January. So if that gets cleared, then yes, I will consider maybe a bit of a move here to the downside like that. CHFJPY, beautiful. Look at this amazing thing. Honestly, I'm loving it. Honestly, CHFJPY is becoming one of my favorite pairs, because it's just doing what I'm asking it to do. I said to you, like, look, keep your eyes on this upside line. If it holds, you know, we could get some false breakouts, and if it holds, then great. Maybe the bulls are not giving up. So there we go. You know, but you have to be very careful, because the probably more bulls will jump in if we see that pop above the 171.50 territory, this barrier right here. If we can get that, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed, you know, and potentially attracting more buyers into the game here. So yes, this is the good play here on this pair. However, for the downside, I like this upside line, so maybe I could start looking at some lower levels already. If we break this upside line, we stay below it, then we could target the 169.30 zone or this 50-day EMA. CADCHF. CADCHF, fantastic move to the downside yesterday. Of course, didn't really like the rate staying the same moments. Okay, but that's fine. Look, as I said to you, that if we do drop and stay below the 0.6405 zone right here, I will consider it move lower. Now, I need to be very careful with that idea, actually, because something that I missed yesterday, and I need to kind of still put it on the chart here, maybe this will hold. Again, so yes, it fell below the 0.6405 and it went lower. That's kind of one thing of the problem, right? I mean, it worked out. However, if it struggles to overcome this upside line drawn from the low of the 29th of December, then, well, that's where the problem could arise, and you know, we could see a rebound back up. So just be a little bit more on the safe side on this one. USDJPY, so there we go. We broke the upside line and we stayed somewhat below it. So in a way, some might say, hey, this is kind of a bearish indication, and especially if the stock market, let me get rid of this upside line, if the stock market continues to slide. Well, that is true. That is true if it continues to slide. However, what could happen, for example, if the stock market corrects today a little bit lower, maybe USDJPY could also correct lower, test this territory right here, the 146.22, something like that, 25 maybe. Or actually, you know what? Maybe it's actually 40. Nah, it's really subjective. It's really subjective. I mean, we could keep an eye on this. So, I mean, it might test this 146.40 zone, and if it does struggle to overcome it, then we could see something like that. So it could come in line with the idea of the stock market correcting lower today a little bit. You know, this, like I said, Japanese yen would be under buying interest, and this is the point where USDJPY could drift a little bit lower, not because of the weakness of the dollar, no, more it would be more probably on the weakness or the strength of the Japanese yen. So just kind of keep that in mind. I mean, this could come align perfectly. However, this move could be short-lived. Maybe it could drift a little bit lower here, maybe not go all the way towards that 146.40. Maybe it could stop somewhere around the 147 territory, rebound from here, go back up, and still, either way, guys, if you're looking at some higher levels, I mean, still, for me, the clearance here is required in order to go higher. So until I get that, I'm not really examining the upside. Just that's it. In terms of the downside, the same story. I mean, I'll get more comfortable with the downside if we do drop below this zone right here, below the 146.41, or actually below the 50 and the 100-day EMAs. If we can drop there, yes, great, more sellers could join it. USDCHF, so there we go, beautiful decline, beautiful drop, so that was perfect here. However, we are struggling with this upside line. If we stay below it, then yes, great, I'll go lower, I'll go more for some downside. But if it rebounds here and pushes back above the 0.8666 territory, I will consider actually a move back to the upside. Very simple. USDCAD, so there we go. We tested the downside line. Beautiful move, I would say. I cannot really say anything else apart from great. Now the question is, can we see a breakout through this downside line? And if we can get that move, then yes, wonderful. wonderful. I will go higher, especially if it pops above the 1.3550 territory as well. So if I can get that move, then yes, my next target is the 1.3620, and then so on and so on. At the moment, yes, I have to play the waiting game, unfortunately. Maybe not the most exciting part, but definitely part of trading, guys. So part of trading. So yes, be very careful, be very patient, and you know, you will be rewarded. So yeah, I mean, look, there's not much to add here. We're gonna keep an eye on the US data today. So yeah, we'll see how this reacts. If it breaks the downside line, okay. If it doesn't, if it struggles, maybe a bit of a drift back down could be possible, in line with the strengthening oil, which as I said, I'm only aiming for this territory for now, and then we'll go from there. GBPUSD, just a quick update on this one. So yesterday we tried to pop above this downside line, and we did pop above it. We failed to stay above it. So now I need to see a push above this downside line, and need to see the pair staying above that area again, above that downside line, in order to go for the upper side of the range right here. If we are looking at some lower levels, then basically a drop below this territory here, right here, this 1.2690 would be needed in order to consider a move to the downside. So yeah, that's the game plan. That's the simplistic approach here on GBPUSD. For now, while we remain in this little area, I am just observing the price action. GBPJPY, still the same game plan is valid. We're waiting for a break through this territory, the 188.66, in order to go higher. For the downside, a drop below the 186.17 territory would be required for me, because look, this is exactly yesterday's candle is actually a good proof of why I'm waiting for this, because it did drift lower. It kind of moved, you know, some people got caught out in this one, but actually no, it was just nice, like a little false breakout, and it drifted back up. So it's kind of stuck here right now, and it's kind of forming a range. So, you know, that's why I need some sort of more. I need some more clarity on this idea to the downside. So yeah, for now, I'm just observing this price action. EURGBP. So okay, look. Again, this level here, the 0.8549 area, marked by the lowest point of December, which yeah, got violated yesterday, but still we remained above it. So not much. Yes, we're below this highlighted zone, the 0.8560, which I talked about previously. So there is still some hope for the bears. But the bulls are really not giving up. The bulls are really not giving up, and in a way, I would say, let's wait until we see some more clarity. At this point, I mean, I'm watching this again. This pair, guys, as well. Keep your eyes on the ECB today. Again, as I said before, they're not going to do anything. I mean, I'm not saying something new. I think everybody knows that already. The only thing is that everybody's going to be listening probably to understand, you know, how, if they're going to do any cuts, and how quickly they could do those cuts. This is something that probably the market will keep an eye on, and if they say that, you know, they are going to be quicker on the cuts, then we could see euro falling a little bit against its major counterparts. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, let's not rush into things for now. EURCAD, so this one's interesting. Look, we are breaking, or at least we are testing the upper side of the box. Yesterday we had a fantastic rally back to the upside. We climbed back above my EMAs, and now we're currently resting on the upper side, at the upper side of this box, of this range. So my question is actually, can it actually go higher in this one? Well, in general, it does have the the potential strength to do so. I mean, maybe it will be like just a continuation move higher after the yesterday's move. So, but if it struggles with this territory, yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a move back down, actually. So this box for now is doing a good job. Yes, we are forming these higher lows. You can see by this, but hey, it might drift back down here again, test the upside line, then rebound, and then make its way higher. My only problem is that, look, with the upside. The problem with the upside is the fact that this is a range, if this is some sort of a range sideways action, then the prevailing trend was to the downside. So maybe it could actually drift back down again. So let's keep an eye on this. Let's see if this is going to work out or not. EURUSD, finally, again, talk about like ranges and talk about ugly ranges. I mean, this is an ugly range. I mean, these breakouts here, I mean, ugh. Look, on an hourly chart, you wouldn't probably see something like that very much, you know. So, but on a daily chart, that's why I like dailies. They give me more. They kind of provide more sense and onto the sentiment and to people's psychology, traders' psychology, what's happening. So here you can see that clearly they're undecided yet. They're waiting for the ECB. The traders of this pair are also waiting for the US data, which is coming out today and tomorrow. So yes, we could see some interesting action here. If not today, then we could see some tomorrow. So yes, like I said, we'll see what the ECB has to say. But at the moment, basically what I'm looking at here is, again, a push above the 1.09 territory for me is required in order to go higher. For the downside, a drop below the 1.0844 territory here is needed in order to go lower. And not only a breakout, but also like the body of the daily candle staying either above that barrier or below that hurdle, which I've mentioned already. So that's it, guys. That's it for this session. I really want to thank everybody who tuned in, and especially you guys who were commenting in the box in the live chat. So thank you very much for that. Look, guys, in general, I really appreciate everybody's comments and everybody's views and everybody's time. The most important, I appreciate your time, because honestly, to kill an hour of your life with me, that's something I need to be thankful for that. So thank you very much for that. I bow down to you, and I hope you're going to join me tomorrow. As always, 7 o'clock GMT time. If you've missed the show, you can always watch it as a recorded session on TradingView there. Oh, by the way, just to let you know that I'm going to throw this randomly out there. We're now like one of the, the best Forex brokers, by TradingView, by TradingView recognition. So basically, TradingView recognizes as the best Forex broker, right? I mean, just wanted to throw that out there, right? Just saying, right? But anyway, enough bragging. Let's go into the markets. Europe is going to open in a few minutes. So yes, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So I hope you're going to stick with me for now. And yes, in terms of you're going to join me tomorrow, basically. So yeah. Faris Salih, yes, thank you very much, and thank you everybody else who tuned in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.